Alright, you guys, it is time for my own Gekishin Squadra tier list. My name is Annie, and I've taken a lot of time to go ahead and write down everything that I need to talk about when it comes to rankings of different characters in the game. And I do hope you guys do enjoy this tier list here. Now, if you have any questions or just comments in general, feel free to let me know down below, and I'll go ahead and take a look at them as soon as I can. But firstly, three things that I want to get out of the way before starting the tier list. Well, number one, tiers are not ordered. They're simply sorted by roles. So you'll see attackers, then tanks, then technicals. They will all be grouped together. They're not in a specific, this character is better than this character order if they're within the same tier. Two, you are able to climb with any character to S rank if you are good enough with them. The game isn't that restricting until higher in S rank. People even got to S rank with only Bojack in solo queue. It's very possible. And number three, this list takes into account that if, for example, you pick Dabura and you're actively removing a slot on your team that could be taken up by, say, a Super Saiyan Goku. This especially matters for tank characters and their placements, as there's only one slot open for a tank character role. First up is Super Saiyan Goku. Even though his Meteor Smash got nerfed, they decided that they wanted to do a power neutral change, so he got some compensation buffs. In this list, you'll notice a trend for attackers, and it's that if you have a good boss secure, you're automatically ranked higher than the rest. In the current meta, securing bosses is way too valuable, and Spirit Bomb is one of, if not the best tool for securing bosses, all things considered. The best thing about Goku is the Spirit Bomb is not a factor in fights until level 11, and Goku is balanced as such. He's a complete character without it, meaning he could use it to secure bosses. His chase potential is insane, his Kaioken makes him tanky, and his Kamehameha early is insane for securing Kais, which is also a really important thing for a DPS. Goku is just an insanely good all-around character. He's just very easily a best in slot attacker. Next up is Vegeta, and unlike other tanks, Vegeta's power doesn't come from his crowd control, but his shield regen with skill 1 and his super attack, the Big Bang. The optimal way to play with him is to use Build Up, Giant Slayer, and Pursuit, and you just fist fight. His clearing is insane with skill 2, Super Start skill 1 makes his early laning really strong as well. He also has a very good pairing with Super Saiyan 3 Goku in lane, and even on top of that, his skill 3 is also quite strong. But the lack of CC is what puts him in A rank and not higher. Both Cooler and Caulifla have insane crowd control that, paired up with a player who's not just autopiloting, will make objective fights way easier. Vegeta's really good at all stages of the game. He's just a juggernaut. But his weakness will unfortunately always be CC. Now, Krillin, in the beta and the game's release, he was considered very strong. But with the Season 1 and introduction of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the meta has started slowly forming and reforming. He's sadly just fallen behind. Every top tier character are able to destroy his bombs, and in higher ranks, people just won't blindly walk into them. He's sadly a victim of counterplay and a lack of teamfights presence, with half the screen being Kamehamehas currently. He's still in B tier because he's not bad by any means, but he's just worse than other technicals. And keep in mind, you can only have one technical in the same game, so it's very competitive there. Now on to 18, and she's a very weird character to rank because she could look absolutely broken, but if you play slow land any sort of CC, she kind of just crumbles. She's very good and not that far behind other attackers, but her problem is how reliant she is on her ultimate and the lack of boss secure. The top attackers are just overpowered, so she has to go down. Next character is Daima Goku, who in the community went from regarded as one of the worst DPS to now being proven to be extremely top tier. The current rank 1 player Abe is a one trick, and if you watch his stream, you can see what kind of devastation he can bring to games. His playstyle is very unique for an attacker. You just play around your bomb, and at level 3, skill 1 just becomes a team-wide nuke. If a Daima Goku is good and he gets any snowball stacks, they could put the entire game in their hands and wipe the entire enemy team. He's the sole exception to attackers by being the only one in A without a boss secure because his team fighting is just that strong. His skill 3 also makes him damn near unkillable if used correctly, just an extremely strong character. Baby is next, and I'll just keep it short. Between the beta and release, he got absolutely gutted. Firstly, his healing got halved and almost every single one of his skills got hurt. In higher ranks, people literally walk past him and kill the DPS. He doesn't provide comparable damage or CC to any tank either. He's sadly just a shell of his former self. He has a cool gimmick that will probably never be balanced because if he's strong, it's just way too toxic. As for Android 17, he's just another case of being a really strong character that's sadly in technical where the competition is better. His ultimate is insane when in a 4-stack with communication, and he has decent laning, good team fighting, but his numbers just aren't up to par with what the other technicals can provide. However, he's still a very strong character. Now we have Trunks, and he's one of the 2 characters who would go into the skill tier because he's genuinely very hard to pilot. Him and 18 are very similar, but the key difference is how strong Trunks' skill 1 is at securing Kais and even bosses. He requires a lot of patience, but once piloted correctly and given even the slightest lead, he can begin to absolutely steamroll matches. He's far from optimal, but I think putting him in B tier would be a disservice to what he's truly capable of. Next is the newest character added to the game, Gotenks, and I don't know where to start. Gotenks is very damn good and has a good matchup in my opinion into the best technicals. However, his real problem is that every ability he has is designed with counterplay. If you've managed his skill 1, then it doesn't even land. His skill 2 is so bad, the optimal play is just not to even level it up at all. His skill 3 can be destroyed by energy attacks, and his ultimate is also very slow. But despite all that, his laning is still very strong. Now, we're on the topic on the first A-rank technical, and like for attackers and boss securing, it's time to mention that this meta for technicals is backdooring, or as this community likes to call it, being a rat. Sadly, this playstyle is the best way to play if you do want to win, and that's a very key part into what makes technical strong. Gotenks' Ghost, especially at max level, can protect towers and alert your team to a hit, for example. If Gotenks goes to backdoors, then he puts Ghost on himself, and if he starts getting chased, he can slow down the enemies. He's the most damaging technical as well, for sure. His ultimate can completely shut down multiple targets if the enemy team fails to dodge it. In lane, the enemy is forced to play around Gotenks' skill 1, which is basically never to vanish. His passive is extremely broken and can single-handedly turn lane kills into rotations for bot lane or make teamfights into complete stomps. He has a lot of tools, but sadly he's probably not in contention for the best technical spot at all. He's still an A tier because what he provides is very damn good, but his skill 2 needs some serious buffs. Next is Kale, and it's very straightforward for her ranking. She has some of the best AoE in the game, some of the best secure with her skill 1 plus skill 3. With her ultimate, she could 1v2 or even turn a lost lanes around. If it's a Cell Jr. game and your team doesn't have Kale, then you're simply just not trying to win. She has good range, secure, damage, and ultimate. Just an extremely strong character. Easily top 3 character and at the cusp of being best in slot. On to the saddest part of the list, the Gammas. I really wanted this character to be good, but the more you see of them and the more meta teams you see, they just fail to keep up with anyone. Their abilities feel clunky, they have a horrible animation lock, and I know you can animation cancel one of their kicks, that doesn't change everything else. Their damage is also lacking. They have a bad secure, don't excel in lane, and they aren't even that good in team fights. They're just not that good flat out. Their 2 HP bar mechanic is insanely strong, but that's probably the exact reason why they held back so much on the rest of their kit. Just very unfortunate. Let's go from that very low note to a very toxic one. Caulifla is, in my opinion, the best tank in the game. Every match, it becomes clear that she becomes more and more prevalent. Her taunt might as well be just a stun. The damage reduction it gives her makes her almost unkillable and completely shuts down most characters. If she plays well, she could taunt Super Saiyan Goku to stop him from spirit bombing the objective. She's good into Super Saiyan 3 in lane because she could just turn his Kamehameha. Her skill 3 stops projectiles and can save allies. Her taunt just isn't balanced whatsoever. Now is a good time to go from Caulifla, who has a stranglehold in the game, to her specific counter, Oob. Most of his damage comes from his rush attacks, and his skill 2 removes her taunt entirely. He has 3 dashes, and his ult is a very good boss secure. He's the second character in the skill tier because he's very squishy, and you need to be precise with rush attacks within a team fight in a game where everyone is just moving Mach 10 all over the screen. Not much to say, he's just very good. Next is the Rat King himself, Hits. Every day his ranking has risen in this list, and once people finally mastered and understood him, you could just tell how broken his kit is. His level 3 invisible gives him basically permanent stealth. He has an AoE stun, he could blind multiple people with skill 1 and practically just remove them from the fight. His ultimate also just solo wins team fights, and if the enemy team isn't even careful around bushes, he will 1v2 the lane entirely. He's just insanely annoying to deal with, but that's not to say I'm happy with him in the game. I genuinely believe his kit is extremely unhealthy and it needs to be changed. He's really good in teamfights, lane, and he's the best rat in the game. Just a very unfair character. Now we have Dabura here, and there's not really much to say about him. He's very easy to counter, and he's a one-note character, but you can make him work. He's not worth playing, but I hesitate to call him truly bad. He's just very basic, as in he lacks boss secure, falls off late game, and he's kinda lost in team fights. He still has a good laning phase though, so he's not as bad as the bottom 2 attackers. Cooler should be the template for a tank. Easily the second best one, but I think everyone knows that. His skill 2 stops dashes, skill 3 dash could solo win lane, and his ultimate is spirit bomb level. He has the most CC in this game and you can really feel it. He's just really damn strong. Overall, he's better than Caulifla, but her taunt is just really unbalanced, so that's why he's second. Now we get to what people call the pay-to-win character, and honestly, he's the best character in the game. We're talking about Super Saiyan 3 Goku here. I mentioned earlier that Gotenks is a good release because every ability is designed with counterplay, but for some reason they made Super Saiyan 3 Goku to be the exact opposites. His Kamehameha has 2 downsides. First one is the charge up, but you could just use instant transmission mid-fight and fire a fully charged one for whatever reason. The second is the animation, but you're able to cancel it as well. His skill 2 just lets you go back to where he originally was standing. His IT is the most broken ability in the game as well, especially at high ranks. The fact that it's only a 15-second cooldown if you go into an enemy is absolutely stupid. You could just tell your Super Saiyan 3 to come top and he will instant transmission and help you basically instant win fights. He could also push out top while Nappa is spawning, then just IT and win the fight as well. The Dragon Fist has an insane burst that lets him secure bosses instantly and has a hitbox around him as a get me off tool. He just has every base covered, and it's annoying that this character is in every single game. If it's Superstar or Skill 1 damage, then you just have to pick Super Saiyan 3, otherwise you will have half the chance of winning. He just has no weakness, no drawbacks, he's simply just the god of this game. Frieza is next, and he's genuinely a very hard character, but his role's also very simple at the same time. He just has a shit landing phase, honestly, and very bad team fighting. He purely exists just to take towers and one-shot bosses. Not much to add, he's just so good at backdooring as well that he's still an A tier. Cell's a very funny character in this community. Everyone who's S rank will make countless jokes while others will get stomped by him. His early laning is so laughably bad that any character could beat him. Once he transforms, he's actually quite good. His ultimate is a mini 17 ultimate, and his backshots are good, but the rest is just horrible. He's not in C tier because his late game is that good, but he really isn't worth picking over the top 3 tanks in any situation. Rounding up the tanks, the worst one in the game in my opinion is Zamasu. He has half a second slow, his damage is just bad, and his ultimate puts him out of the fight. His skill 2 is also nothing but an escape tool on a tank character, and he scales very poorly. He's quite literally just the worst version of Vegeta in every conceivable way. His skill 2 needs to be reworked to have like a stagger or some CC because his kit just feels like it lacks something. He's so annoyingly worthless. Literally just a damage sponge, which I guess it makes sense within the context of the series, but that just means he does almost nothing in the match for you. And now, probably the most overtuned character in the game. From being the most absolutely horrible in the beta, to getting such gigantic buffs in release that he's practically a must pick. Him and Super Saiyan Goku are the best pairing in the game by such a wide margin that if you play into them, you just have to pray that the Gohan player messes up. His skill 3 makes his allies immortal and hard counters Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He has a full screen dash that lets him rat with almost zero fear. He has a very consistent stun on skill 2 and a stagger on skill 3. He's very overtuned. His passive literally just rewards him for existing. It's actually crazy. This is the second character that Gotenks has a good matchup into though, because Gotenks' ghost can block his skill 2, but most of the time it doesn't really even matter because of how strong Gohan is just numbers wise alone. Now next we have Piccolo. He was considered horrible, but then they gave him buffs on both release and season 1 and they just made him so insane. His biggest problem is how broken Barrier is and how much coordination he requires to function in high rank lobbies. But Special Beam Cannon is able to secure any boss. He can be a very consistent sniper with skill 1 and he has such a good escape tool. He's just a very good poke character and I'm very glad they gave him such good buffs. Another character that went from 0 to hero very recently alongside with the release of Gotenks is Majin Buu. He had a cell laning phase because his HP pool was very minuscule, and his skill 1 was literally nothing, his skill 3 is worthless, and his ultimate is basically not an ability until its second and mostly third point. However, now with the new buffs, they hard buffed his early HP and gave him 200 extra damage on his skill 1 that has multiple charges. Buu is now one of the best laning phases and best team fighting of any character. He's the final technical of this list. And I would say the top 3 technicals are very easily him, Gohan, and Hit, with obviously Gohan being the best of the 3. And finally, but not least, the most broken Giga OP character ever to release, Bojack, who's so bad that he has his own tier. His ultimate is not even an ability. His skill 1 isn't worth leveling up. His minefield is easily avoidable and destroyable, and at best his slow zone is just fine. He's so bad at every step of the way, I am truly baffled at how the dev team has treated him. He needed buffs more than Majin Buu. He's just a very bad character considering you're picking him over a character like Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Absolutely just insane. But at this point, we've covered every single character, and again, I hope you guys enjoy the tier list. If you do disagree or have any comments, just feel free to leave a comment, and again, thanks y'all for watching.